Hey, what's up, everybody? WarDRobe here, Jeff from Hex to Hex, and we have a special guest. So please, everyone, be on your best behavior. We have Mr. Chuck Silverstein on with us.
Wow.
Hello, Chuck. Thank you so much for joining with us. Charles Latour. I apologize that we have a different Charles / Chuck on here. I'm sorry, but he was the one that lost the lottery and had to come on with us. So no, he I actually got Chuck's name from Kevin, the man himself, Kevin Zucker. When he and I were communicating via email about something, and I asked about someone that could come on and teach us, and he said, "Yeah, I know just the guy for you." And so, yes, thank you, and I thank you all for the. We just had a little technical things we had to work through. I apologize for that, but appreciate y'all waiting. You're getting everything that you're paying for it, so congratulations. We are excited to give this game a shot. I have tried it a couple times soloing. Kind of think I got it, but I'm not sure. I just had enough questions that I really want someone that knows it to kind of just walk me through it to make sure I'm getting stuff. I feel like this is slightly less complicated than the GC ACW system, which you've seen on this channel and on Jeff's channel as we play. We're gonna get that started up again with a new scenario. We're going to go head to head and destroy each other and lose a friendship. And
we're not going to start until after they come out here to go to Gettysburg, though.
Yeah, it will be probably in May before we do that for real. And that's coming up in a couple of weeks that Andrew and I will be out there to tour some battlefields. Apparently, we'll be fairly close to Chuck. We'll be fairly close to Chuck, apparently. So that'll be cool. So anyway, I'm not a huge Napoleon guy. I'm still learning all the history of it and stuff. And I just, the system's beautiful and it's not too complicated. It's kind of a similar scale in that you're zoomed out. You're not doing you're not putting your guys in squares. You're not doing some of that stuff. I mean, I'm kind of making some stuff up here as I go, but I feel like it's a little simpler, but the thing is, it's not too complicated. There's just a lot of little things to know that give it a lot of flavor to make it Napoleonic. And that's cool. And I think that's the stuff I just kind of want to make sure I'm getting and kind of picking up. Jeff has played this a little bit, but it's been ages. And he said, basically starting from scratch. So, and then Chuck, let's learn that's enough about us. Everyone knows us that watches this. And there's probably some Library Napoleonic Battles guys that have joined us that aren't normally on here. If you are, just comment, say who you are, what you're doing, say hello.
Sure.
And Chuck, tell us just briefly kind of about yourself, how long you've been playing, and why you like this game series, and we'll get going.
Perfect. Well, I'm Chuck Silverstein here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been wargaming since I bought my very first war game in 1963, which is the Avalon Hill Gettysburg with the square hexes. So I've kind of been there and seen it all. I've always had an interest in Napoleonics, and long story made short. I really like this particular game system because it features on the maneuver parts of it. Not so much do you form square, or do you do skirmishers. And I've been actively playing the Library of Napoleonic Battles for, let's see here, would be 12 years now, and I've actually helped Kevin Zucker in the play testing and getting the latest module, Napoleon's Counterstrike. And if you guys have ever seen the Thursday Night Gamers on YouTube, I'm part of that merry crew playing that. So that's me. And because I always enjoy meeting new friends and people, and when someone said these guys wanted to hear someone who thinks he knows how to play this game, I said, well, I think I could be your guy for that.
Sweet. Hey, perfect. That's a great short intro. All right, so everybody, we're just going to do, I don't know, we actually didn't discuss this. I don't know, Chuck, but I was thinking about probably a couple hours, I'm guessing. I don't know. We got started a little late here, but whatever. We can just kind of go through. I don't know. If my goal is not necessarily to finish the scenario tonight. I think it's just to start learning. We're going to go over, and again, this is the way I like to do things, winging it. We'll go over some basics, but I don't want to spend too much time like going through all the stuff. But I guess, Chuck, I'll let you lead the way about teaching, how you want to kind of talk us through stuff. I've read the rules kind of through, watched a few videos. There are some decent training videos. Dolgis has got some stuff. All you people who know that, and Jezza One from England has got some short 10-minute videos that he did. He went through the sequence of play. They're they seem pretty good to me. But go check those out too. Not now, of course, but whatever. So we're playing the Battle of Quatre Bras. It's a fairly small battle in the box. Napoleon's Last Gamble. So it's pretty easy to find on the site and then on used if you want to buy a used copy. It's a really small battle. This is a day of battle, so we're not playing a large campaign. Just one is actually playing the Waterloo campaign on all four maps or something with some of the additionals. So it's kind of fun to watch that huge map getting played on. Now I'll stop talking. Chuck, how do you want to start this out? Like, what do you want to teach us here?
Okay. One thing, just probably some just very basic concepts before the bullets start flying. What's really important to this is the idea of command, and units are organized into divisions and brigades, and the main command unit is the corps. And in this case, the French have one corps, second corps, and more importantly, they have a commander. What a commander is able to do is he can use a command point to put a corps in command. So, and then when the corps leader is in command, all of his units who are within his command radius, which for a commander that's 4 hexes, for the next level down it would be an officer, and his is 3 hexes. So, because when it comes time to move, if your units are not in command, they have to roll their initiative. So if you're really trying to get guys where they want to go, you've got to make sure that you've got your leaders properly spaced out. The other thing is, when it comes to movement and combat, there's the idea of combined arms, that if you can bring an attack where you have infantry, artillery, and cavalry involved, that gives you a very favorable bonus. That essentially, when you find what odds you're going to fight at, say if you're going to fight at 2-to-1, if you have combined arms, you shift that to 3-to-1. So that's a really big thing. And then when you're in combat, most of the combat will just involve pushing units back. There are some exchanges where you can both lose. What you have to watch is trying to make sure that you've got a retreat that can't be blocked by enemy zones of control, because a quick way to lose units is to get them surrounded. There you're forced to retreat, and a unit that can't retreat, that can only retreat through enemy zones of controls, it's temporarily eliminated. And actually, the way the casualty works is you can have units that are eliminated, but they can be brought back in a reduced state by reorganizing. But still, you have to watch and make sure that you don't leave your units kind of hanging on the line. Other thing is cavalry. If the opposing guy does not have cavalry, they're allowed to retreat before combat. I don't know if you guys want to get into the hidden units rules, because they're here, but I guess the thing to do is to just sort of fire this up and just show you how it works by doing it.
Yeah,
So base game is probably going to be, starting for us.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, I mean, that because I see we got a lot of people on here talking. Jeff's been throwing the comments up there. We may be a little slower to respond to comments just because we're kind of focused on learning. So I apologize for a little bit lack of interaction there, but I appreciate y'all jumping on and talking. So this game does kind of thrive on hidden unit movement and stuff. In fact, we struggled a little bit with that when we logged on. Everything was hidden. And I think that's probably really shines there. But and then there's the use of cavalry vedettes, in which I'm learning what that is. But you can use those to spot and get people sighted and do all that stuff. So, but here we were going to play kind of open-handed type of thing, which you can also play it as. It's just you're losing a little bit of that mystery, but I think in this scenario, it's probably fine. And I don't think we're going to lose much just as we're learning. So Jeff, you and I are going to run the good guys, the allies here. And I got to say, and this is super embarrassing. Jeff knows Napoleonic history decently. I don't know it at all. And Chuck, I assume you know it pretty well. So who,
Yeah.
who are the French fighting here today? And then Jeff and I'll divvy up who we're using here. So
Okay, sure. That's right. Well, what's happening here? This is in the opening phases of the Waterloo campaign. Napoleon has seized the central position between the British and the Prussian armies, and Napoleon's aim, because he knows he's ultimately going to be outnumbered, the strategy of the central position is that you look to hold one wing of the enemy with a smaller force, and then descend where you have superiority on the other wing of the enemy army and defeat that. And towards the bottom of the map, which is south, going to the southeast, that's where Napoleon, with the bulk of the army, is meeting Blucher at Ligny. With Quatre Bras, Napoleon has detached Ney, the famous bravest of the brave, and given him one corps and told him to march north. He's essentially looking to encounter Wellington, and if he can defeat him, great. But the main thing is the French want to seize the Quatre Bras area, because that big road, which is Chaussée de Nivelles-la-Namur, that's the line of communication between the British and the Prussians. The British start out with a fairly small force. A lot of it is Dutch, but Wellington is on the move. So this starts off where the French seem to have the upper hand, but time is not on their side, because there's only a chance that the French will get additional reinforcements. So by the afternoon, the attackers may well become the defenders.
Okay, so we have the British, or in the red counters. The green are is that Belgium? Green.
Some are Belgian, some are Dutch. I think you also have some gray ones, which are the Brunswickers.
Okay.
The Duke of Brunswick gets killed at this battle.
Oh no, we'll make sure that doesn't happen. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. So Jeff, do you want to take the British, or the which color do you want? You will just kind of divide up
Yeah, I'll do the Brits.
Okay, so you got Wellington, who's up here near the front, relative, and the rest of his guys, and then I'll handle the green guys, Belgium. And who'd you say the grays are?
Grays are the Brunswickers.
Brunswickers. Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure that out. Okay. So, all right. So I was looking for my sequence of play.
Well, okay. So wait. So this system is based around maneuver more than combat.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so the big question is, who goes first?
Well, in this particular game series, which is part of Napoleon's Last Gamble, sorry boys, it is the French who get to go first.
Oh gosh,
that's good, because you'll be able to. It'd be nice if, as you're executing what you're doing, since we're playing open, you can you can tell us.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I think, just real quick to tell you, all these other counters you see on here, they combined both battles on here on this map. They didn't divide it up into a separate module, or not a separate thing. So we're pretty much just playing north of this old Roman road here, I think, for the most part, and up to here. So that's kind of, if you set it up without all these other stuff, that's pretty much all you'd have on the map. So that Lenny stuff, we're not going to mess with that at all.
Right.
So it's thank goodness, because that's a lot of counters down there. So, all right. And yeah, Chuck, please, you can say what you're doing, why you're doing it. Because again, I'm not too worried about, learning all the strategy at the moment, because that's just, learn how it works.
Right. Well, and I'm a little rusty on Vassal, so may need you for a little.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, in any event, so the way the sequence of play goes is you start off where you make a die roll for weather. Since this is a learning thing, we'll just assume it's clear blue skies, but weather can have quite an influence on the game. And then we have the command phase. And in the command segment, you basically start by saying, "Okay, are my boys in command?" Okay. And so we have here Marshal Ney. His numbers are in brackets, so he is a commander. And with his one point, he will put the officer Ryle, who's in charge of the Second Corps in command. So that
Okay.
means that all of the Second Corps units, and they're the guys with the brown bands on their game counters. They're considered in command, and they can do whatever they want if they're within 3 hexes of Ryle. And as part of superb French planning, you can see that basically the whole of Second Corps is in command. They're lined up. They're ready to go. In addition, what a commander can do is he can use that command point to put in command that many units. So Ney, in addition to activating Ryle, he can also use that to put another unit in command. And these guys in black, those are the guard lancers.
Okay.
So he's been.
What's Ney's command range? You said 4, right?
4, yes.
And so it looks like some of these, like Russell, are further than that, and Kellerman, right?
That's right. Well, if you notice, the cavalry down here, they have a gray band at the top. They're part of Kellerman's 3rd Cavalry Corps. So now what will happen is if Kellerman, because he's not within Ney's command span, and as it is, Ney can only activate 1 corps at a time. So Kellerman, as an officer, he's going to have to roll his initiative, which is that number in parentheses, to see whether or not his units will be activated. And if he fails his roll, they all just kind of sit quietly.
Okay. So basically, and I just, so everybody knows as well, on the OSG Library Napoleonic battle site, the rules are down, all the rules are downloadable. And so you can get all that stuff if you want to learn the game. Kind of, like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on like what all the things mean on the counters.
So command, you're going to, anybody that Ney does not place into command, you're going to roll for them. And if they fail their roll, you mark them out of command.
Exactly.
Some of these rules are going to come back to me. I've only played 2 scenarios, but there's certain things that always stick out.
So. All right.
Are you going to roll for like Kellerman now, or when do you do
exactly? Yeah, that's in the command phase. You basically establish who's in command and who's out of command. So what I'll be doing is I'll be rolling. And now, if you notice with Kellerman, he has the units. The unit below him is in command. The unit Roussel is in command. The unit L'Héritier is not in command.
Because he's 4 hexes away, and it's just hexes, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. For command span, it's by road. Terrain doesn't matter, except that a major river, you can't send your command span over a major river unless it goes through a bridge.
All right. So Ryle is a corps command. Ellerman is a 3rd Cavalry Corps command.
Mm-hmm.
A is a commander.
Yes.
And so commander's range is how many hexes?
4 hexes.
And a corps commander's is 3.
3 hexes.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and yeah, go ahead and do your roll. And so that's
so let's see here. Okay. Well, the good thing is that Kellerman is in command.
Okay.
Now the other thing that happens is L'Héritier, because he's when a unit finds itself out of the command span of its officer, they can make an initiative roll.
Right.
So let's roll and see
So Keller's initiative rating is the 4 in parentheses.
Parentheses, yes. Now, if you look at the combat units, you have the combat strength, which is the big number on the left, the movement, which is the big number on the right, and the number in the box is initiative. And that you do for seeing if you can put yourself in command, and it also comes into play for shock combat as well. So what we're doing, we're seeing if L'Héritier has enough initiative to get into the game here. And he rolls a 6, so basically he just stays put.
So now, let me look on here real quick. There's probably an out of command marker here. So you get a lot of that stuff by right clicking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for, I don't want to change the label. This is very interesting. I'm not seeing out of command here. Show area. Interesting. All right. So the other place is the counter markers here. That's a little surprising they don't have that on there. So let me go to counters.
Okay.
And we're going to do markers and command. So yeah, I see that they have a check, so you can check it here, but we don't want to do that.
They look just like the GBACW command markers.
Not out of supply. Okay, this is where it's kind of where this is so hard to find. It's such a common thing here. I'm going to pull this guy out and see if it works here. It's kind of weird. Where did I see that? Command. Rotate, delete. What the blankety blank?
Hit increase and see what it does.
Okay.
There you go.
So
there you
this,
go. There you go.
now it's question mark, but we know he checked it, so he's out of.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And everyone else, and you said this. I'm sorry, the names are gonna. This cavalry here is one of the ones that Ney actually.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, Ney is a commander. He can use that point to put one additional combat unit in command.
Okay.
Let's say if Ney's rating was a 2, he could activate 2 corps and he could put 2 units in command.
Okay. All right. And before anyone asks, I have no idea why some of these, like here is outlined in yellow, and Campy or whatever is not. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but because he's in command too, because he's within 3 hexes of real.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know either. That's facile. Okay. So that basically takes care of our command phase. So then we have the movement phase.
Okay.
And let's see here. So of course, as we like to say, we always enjoy low-hanging fruit. So let's see if we can move this cavalry unit here. So go 1, 2.
Do they move together normally, or is it usually one at a time?
Sure. Well, you can do it either. You can do it either. Yeah. The stacking limits. You can stack. You can stack any 2 combat units together, regardless of size, type, or formation. Okay. And the reason you see 3 in there is because they're all part of the same division. So everybody that's part of the same division can stay in the same stack.
What's the what were the victory conditions for this scenario? We never did say those.
Victory conditions essentially grab the crossroads and kill more of you guys than of me. Okay. They probably have, usually on the maps they have victory hexes, which have little yellow triangles, which tell you how many points you gain by holding on to them by the end of the scenario.
Yeah, Quattro Fern is 10, so I assume that's what we're doing. So
yeah.
Okay.
So in the main, so we've moved that here, move that there. Oh, and with zones of controls are locking. So once you hit a zone of control, you have to stop. You can't sleaze around it. And when you're in an enemy zone of control, the only way you get out of it is if you drive him away, or if you have to retreat in your combat phase.
So Jeff, I just noticed that moving in a clear hex is only 1 movement point. This is very different than GCACW, where you only stick to the roads. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So there we go. Okay.
And he's stuck.
He's stuck. Right.
Is there an extra movement? Is there an extra movement point to move into zone of control or anything?
No.
Okay.
The only little wrinkle with movement is if you want to stack with a friendly combat unit, you have to spend 1 additional point.
What's the stacking limits?
Stacking with the two units, regardless of what they are.
2 combat units, regardless of type or formation.
Exactly right. And you can have more than that if they're all part of the same division.
Before you move anybody else, I just noticed on there
the
second. Well, I can't see it on the Vassal map. The 2nd Corps supply wagon.
Oh yeah,
he is out Ryle's command.
Right. Well, if you look all the way south, you'll see a supply wagon, and the way the supply rules work is that, and supply wagons can move, and when it's time to check supply, which let's see, you're looking at the good old sequence of play here.
I think it's during weather turns, right? No.
Yeah, just during the weather turn.
They're not affected by command.
No, the wagon trains move independently.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, All right, yeah,
away.
that's cool. Good question, Jeff. Yeah, supply.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
assume supply will become more important in campaigns than probably this scenario, but
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. For
Okay.
sure. All right. So then we'll move this one guy to there. Okay. And he's locked. And then let's see here, because
Yeah, the stacking's a little interesting. I think it'll come to us pretty easy. Oh boy. Should
yeah,
we?
well, yeah, you knew that. You knew that.
Oh, this is
Okay.
my guy, Jeff. You don't care about this, do you? Okay, great.
No, he's green. Beyond, yeah, you can have it.
Beyond.
Okay.
I'm going to definitely get better in my French.
And then let's see here. Yeah, he's l'enfant perdu, as we say. Okay.
In German, he's verrückt.
We need
Yeah.
we need subtitles here for all the French. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. Now I was just looking. Let's see. Looking at these. Now we're going to show you a little something here with as we move to the next unit.
Okay.
We're going to put this guy here in Road March.
Oh, Road March. Cool. Okay.
Because what Road March enables you to do is if you stay on the roads, you can cross over. You stay on the road. You ignore the surrounding terrain, and you can cross bridges for no additional cost.
Yeah. So normally bridges are an additional movement point to cross. If in Road March, no additional movement, and it doesn't cost you anything to get into Road March.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't cost you anything to get in a Road March. You just have to spend a point to come out of Road March. And while you're in Road March, you can't move next to an enemy unit unless you're going to try and repulse it.
Okay. And can you move? Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just watch you move here. So right now you're all right.
Okay. So
oh, there you go. So move. So Chuck, real quick, move that.
Yep.
So move the Road March on top of your guy, and then I'll tell you how to move them together.
Okay.
So all right. So now cursor off of it. Just click the map somewhere.
Okay.
And then click on top of the Road March. It should combine the two.
All right. Well, we'll find out. Okay.
And if not, then you kind of there
we go.
There you go.
Stacking does not affect movement.
Right. Yeah. You can freely move through. Stacking only applies at the end of movement. The only thing is that a unit in Road March cannot be adjacent or cannot end its turn in another unit with Road March.
Chuck has a question? Should the out of command marker be on top of the unit that's auto command?
Well, I think
so Chuck, there's one. We only have one out of command marker, and that's because
exactly.
it's not in the range.
Yeah, that's the only unit that was out of command. He failed his initiative roll.
Right.
Yeah, Kellerman made his initiative roll, so that's why the other guy and the guy stacked with Kellerman are free to move. Okay, so let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, these little dots here are nice for movement.
Exactly.
I want to turn those on in GCACW. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jeff.
Road March cannot. If you go into Road March, so I understood the thing about ignoring certain terrain types. I'm going to stay on a road, but are they allowed to enter a zone of control?
No.
No. Units of Road March can't unless they're doing a repulse, and repulse is if you're moving and you think the guy in front of you is just a picket or a very weak unit. If you declare a repulse and you have 5-to-1 odds or better, your repulse succeeds, and the unit you're repulsing has to retreat a hex. However, if you attempt to repulse and it's not successful, you have to immediately in the next combat phase attack that unit, and your combat odds are shifted 2 columns to the left. So a 2-to-1 becomes a 1-to-1.5.
Yikes.
So, okay, so we have that there. Okay, now so let's see.
So you're going to keep him in Road March?
I'm going to keep him in Road March for now.
Okay. Boy, the stacking and stuff is so much easier in GCACW, Jeff. It's nice.
Okay.
Roll for.
So we're going to move Ryle there, and then we have this up. We have this. Right now we have 5th Division is going after Violence Brigade, and then we have these boys, and they will go 1.
for you.
Oh, let's see here. Oh. 1, 2.
I remember 5th and 6th. One was commanded by Foyer or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, fwa.
Fwa.
Yeah. We'll get you guys all learned up here.
We'll get his French. We're going to talk in Frenchy. Okay.
Exactly. Well, I'm half French, so I've got the inside track on
Oh
that.
man, that's not fair. I took a year of French badly in 9th grade or something, so that tells you what you need to know there. Okay.
Right. And let's see. I'm just looking here. Okay. Well, and then let's see here. Just because I want to do some teaching stuff, so you can decide to move out of command. So these guys are going to go 1. Actually, let's see. Before I do that, see how I want to route them. Let's see. Probably not. Let's just go. Let me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's come up the road. Let's see here. So then we have Kellerman and his boys.
Did you just move them straight up that road? Yeah, you didn't mean to go that. You didn't do that little sidewalk.
Yeah.
John.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is starting to get confusing with these dots on here.
Yeah, and then I just want to leave.
Todd, since he's going to kill all your Dutch and Belgians, and they'll die soon. You'll have to take over the Brunswickers.
Yep. I mean, I like bowling, so they make good shoes. All right.
Yeah, I get out of that already. And then these boyos. Let's see here.
And I believe Charles, I don't know if we answered your question, but I know we addressed it.
Kellerman rolled for successful command, but his 1 unit had to roll because he was out of Kellerman's command range and he failed his
Correct.
Okay. So road march doesn't have to stay on a road. Is that accurate?
It's true. Road march does not have to stay on a road.
Okay, it just kind of means march and column or something.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, so far it's like, okay, so I was playing stuff right. It is interesting. Yeah, road march is good. We can talk about that in the command phase later. So okay.
Right. Okay. So there we are. So that'd be the end of the movement phase.
So you don't want to move.
If you wanted to yank those guys out of road march, can you just do it, or does it cost a movement point or something?
It costs a movement point.
Okay, but you can do it. So you could put him into road march, move him, and then pull him out of road march in the same
Exactly.
One thing I read somewhere was talking about moving across these spans here because it costs 2. You could like put them in, and then when you get across, you could take them out. That might be a reason to do that to save. Although you're then spending a movement point to move out. Anyway, you got to kind of weigh it. When do you move the 2 questions? Are you can move Nay, right? He moves as well.
Yeah.
10,
exactly.
I guess. Do leaders move as cavalry or are they just foot infantry?
They move as cavalry.
Okay. And when do you move supply if you're going to?
I didn't. Let's see. I have to undo. Yeah, I forget how you undo it. Let's see.
There's the little circle at the top of the thing, or you can just move them back up there.
All right. Yeah.
Curmudgeons with dice.
Exactly. So
we do have a question from Perry, but when you're done doing moving, Nick, we'll ask you.
Yeah, and it turns out that baggage trains have a movement of 4.
Okay. And is it a good idea to move them closer? I guess keep them up. I guess what's the general supply like? They have to be within how many of units to be in supply?
Right. Well, in order for units of a corps to be in supply, you have to be within 14 hexes of a supply wagon, which is then on a trunk line. A trunk line is a road, and you can be, and the trunk line can go an infinite number of hexes until it gets to a supply source. And then in this case, Kellerman does not have his own supply wagon, so he would use the second corps one.
Okay. We have a question here that from Perry. Doesn't road march preclude stacking? I'm not really sure.
Yes, it does.
So, like,
there we go. Look at that. See, let me look here. No, yeah, I'm okay. No,
what does that mean? Like, you can't stack them together, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
he can't end on any stack, whether they're in road march or not?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Perry, I hope that answers that question for you. Let us know if you're thinking of something else. Okay. Is that so? It looks like you've done all your movement.
Done all the movement.
So does the out of command marker stay on there until the next turn?
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That gets removed at the end of my turn.
Okay.
Now let's
So
see. And you guys will have to help me because now I'm trying. I remind me how I advance to the next phase in this.
well, I think we just do it. I think, do we need to know that they moved? Like, is that important? Because I can click all that move stuff off and clean up the board. Do we need to know that anymore?
No.
Or are we?
No, I mean that's just to
Okay.
show you how they got there.
Okay. So then we're good there. I think, and I don't know this fast mod. I think you're just going to do your combat now. They're
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so here we're going to have the example of combined arms, and also why you don't like to leave guys out to dry, because we have Violent, who has a combat strength of 4.
Hold on, before you go to comment, just so that everybody will know this. In the sequence of play,
Right.
Your units that are in command move first, and then your initiative movement phase follows that.
Right.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. So who was the guy that we had to put into command? What was his name again? Kellerman?
Yeah, Kellerman. I think I pretty much had moved everybody else before I moved Kellerman.
Okay, so all right. So Kellerman would have moved last in the group.
Yeah, exactly.
And then any units that rolled for initiative separately. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, because of course, if it sometimes happens, you're trying to set up an attack, but it's dependent on, what if some of the guys fail their initiative roll? Well, that's where you're gambling a little bit. Maybe some will come in, maybe some won't.
Okay.
All right. Well, in any event, so here we have Violent, who's a 4, and he's up against, let's see here, he's up against 10, 14, 15. So that would be a 3-to-1.
All right. So I've pulled up the CRT. It's from a slightly older 7.30. We're all using 7.38 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably close, but maybe might be a little different, the result here. All right. So
if you look at the combat result table, so the attack is at a 3-to-1 just based on the odds. However, because I have combined arms, it bumps it to 4-to-1.
Okay. And make sure I understood, because I was pulling this chart up. You're firing pretty much everybody that's surrounding him on them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, now, pretty much. Can I?
What you're obliged to do in the combat phase, you must attack any enemy unit that you're adjacent to. You can't hold people back.
Okay. You can't. Wait. I'm saying that you can't hold anybody back. Is that what you said?
Right. Exactly.
Oh wow. So everyone has to attack him unless they're next to someone else.
Exactly.
Oh wow. Are you gonna use this guy for any sort of artillery?
He doesn't have line of sight.
I was about to say the problem there is you have to have line of sight. Now the artillery unit that's with the 9th Division, because the unit just north of him is behind a crest hex, he does not have a line of sight. Interestingly, that crest hex guy, he sees everybody down south. So this simulates being on the other side of the hill, kind of.
Okay. And how about, so you're saying this guy cannot see this guy either?
No, because you have to have a clear line of sight, and if you have blocking terrain in either hex, that blocks it. So.
Okay. What's the blocking line of sight between those two?
Well, if you go on in theory, you have the hex side, but the presence of a friendly unit in both of those hexes that share the hex side make that a blocked line of sight.
Oh, units block line of sight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that in the rules. Okay, cool.
So sorry, boys, that's not a howitzer battery. You just have to make do with the guns you got. And in this case, even though there is the horse artillery that's in there, You can only do bombardment against enemy units that are 2 or 3 hexes away. If you're adjacent to an enemy unit, you can't bombard.
But they can attack as part of the attack, right?
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, theoretically, what could happen is that horse artillery could, let's say there was an enemy unit in the hex of the farm of the Grand Pierre Pont, right over here. That artillery unit, he could bombard that hex because the unit he's with is attacking that unit. So that's the only time. So you can make a bombardment like that. And the other thing, bombardments are useful for soaking off.
Right. Okay.
Because if you make a bombardment on an enemy unit, even if it's not successful, that unit is considered attacked.
And the artillery doesn't suffer any ill effect from bombardment.
No, that's not at all. Not at all.
It's like your Napoleon quad game you were playing. Kind of similar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's 3-1, but you move over because it's 4-1 because you got the combined arms, and combined arms is cavalry and infantry.
Yeah, it's a scissors, rocks, paper. It's cavalry, infantry, and artillery.
Okay.
All you need is one of each. Yep.
Oh, you do need an artillery. Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see what happens here. And I want there are no, in this case, no other die roll modifiers because it's clear terrain, and anything but a 6. Okay, that's a 2. That's a DR4. So since he has no way to retreat, he is removed. But what you would do is, and I'm not sure how you do it in this module, but he would go to the units waiting for reorganization table.
Okay. Let's see if it's gunner. So right click, E-cruise unit reverse side. So all right. So the number 4 is how many steps they lose, or points, or whatever.
That's just combat points. Yeah. Essentially, most combat units have a full strength side and a reduced strength side.
All right, let's just kind of spend a second to look at the reverse side of this. So if he just had lost 1, he would flip over and now I have 3. Okay. Are there counters to mark, or I can probably just increase, decrease? Let me just try this just to. Nope, that's not it. That's out of. That's out of command. Okay, that's good to know. I wonder.
So it's a DR4. It doesn't say he takes any loss.
Right. Let's say if he was able to. Let's say if the cavalry unit was a hex below him, a hex south.
Right.
Then he would be able to retreat 4 hexes. But in this case, he's surrounded by zones of control. So since he can't retreat, he is removed from the map.
I don't want to delete him. That feels like okay. Hold on just a second here. Turn record chart, CRT. You gotta see. I'm still learning. Okay, so it looks like permanently eliminated holding. Is this what we're talking about? But not for the French, obviously.
Right. Then looking at
the other guys here. So that's interesting. It does say French AOD. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Right.
Coalition.
Under AOD, you would move your guy to the eliminated units awaiting recovery.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. One thing about Vassal here. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, for Pete's sake! All right, hold on.
While you guys are doing that, I just have to make a quick rest break. I'll be right back.
Yep, no problem. I appreciate it. All right, so I got to move that chart. I need another screen. Jeff, can you send me another monitor, please? Thank you, Jeff.
I'll have one here when you take it home with you. Curmudgeon says delete it. It's not coming back. There's a special rule. I don't have any of those scenario rules, so.
All right, I believe you. I'm going to put it in the permanently eliminated box, and while he's gone, let me look at the, is it a special?
Pull those boxes, pull that box up here so I can see that window. Okay, and how did we determine he was permanently eliminated?
Well, I'm just doing that because of what Curmudgeon said, but I think he said, let me look at this, what this says here. Can I highlight all these guys at once? Yeah, so. Place reconfigure. Yeah, let's see. Recovered units eliminate. Oh yeah, it's probably this. It probably would go here because it's awaiting recovery. Because it says awaiting recovery, blah blah. But let's, while he's gone, let me see if I can find the scenario.
I'll bet you they're permanently eliminated because it's almost as if they were just completely cut off and captured because they had no route to retreat, and that makes them permanently.
That makes sense. Yeah. It could also be the, let's see here, victory. But first I'll ask him if this was the right box to put him in. If that wasn't a rule, and then we'll ask him about that.
And we're back. Okay.
All right, check with it. Perfect. We have a question for you real quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and you see on my screen here, so I found the coalition player. Would I put him in the eliminated units awaiting recovery box? Is that what you said?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because he has a reduced side, he goes into the eliminated units awaiting recovery. If you flip over a unit and it just has the national flag, that means that he's only a one-step unit, so he would go into the permanently eliminated units, or the PEW boxes, as otherwise known.
Oh, that's why Curmudgeon said that, because he said recovery, he thinks it only happens overnight.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, Curmudgeon popped on one of our viewers and said you'd just be permanently eliminated because we're not playing them we're not playing through the night turn. So
actually, whenever it's a weather check turn, you roll to see if eliminated units move down to the ready for reorganization box.
And do we
have all right, so now we might as well beat this up while we're here. Okay, so that guy, he has a reverse side.
Yeah.
If he does make it to recovery, I'm assuming he's going to come back on reduced.
Exactly. He comes back as reduced.
Gotcha.
Right. So it looks like we have I don't see another weather check, but I do see 2 recovery steps on 3 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Let's see if I'm looking at the turn record chart.
Yeah, I'm looking at
because this is actually short. So, yep, I think you're right there.
Okay.
Right.
I hope that makes sense, Curmudgeon, what we're talking about there. So each scenario, just so everybody knows, each scenario comes with its own turn record chart, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's in this. It might be, but I have it in front of me. And it tells you when people are coming in, not, and all this. And this says at 15 and 1800, there are recovery steps.
Todd, there's also a victory worksheet in the charts.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. Now it's my turn to go to the little boy's room.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're fine. He's just going to be. So I guess that means there's no other. Oh, can you advance after combat?
I was about to say yes, you can. And what you're allowed to do is you can advance 1 infantry unit and all the cavalry units if you like into that hex. So I'll just do that. If you had a leader, you'd be able to move everybody that was stacked with the leader into the hex. Artillery cannot advance after combat.
Okay. And I'm sorry, could Campy or Pierre, whatever how you pronounce that, move into that or no?
Yeah. Yes. Well, Pierre could, but the horse artillery, who I have as Grenier, could not.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
Perfect.
So that's that, and then just looking ahead at the old
sequence of
CRT, I think that is the end. I think that pretty much is the end of the end of the French turn. Now, what would happen if you're playing with hidden units is Pierre and the horse artillery, since no one has a line of sight, they would become hidden units.
Okay.
And now what will happen now? Let's see here. Yeah, even though I now have the 2 guys on the crest, you check for line of sight at the beginning of the combat phase. So these guys, your guys are still unrevealed, and that is the end of the French turn.
Okay, can we talk about line of sight? It's pretty easy. Jeff's pretty good at this. He works with maps all day long, but and I think I pretty much have it. But this map's a little different with all. It's very crust driven, more than 3 or 4 hills or something. It's crust driven ASL. So, like you said, this guy Perpunche can see this, But
Yes,
unlike most mini games, that is not reciprocal.
exactly.
Gautier, they cannot see him because he's like
Correct.
hidden behind that crest.
Correct.
And I don't know if maybe we don't need to get into it because right now we're mainly dealing with crest. So I'm not going to worry about other like hills and stuff right now.
No.
So,
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. Now I guess it's the Allied turn to do all the
Exactly. So
okay.
so you basically so the allies you check your command.
All right. So let's just start with the I'm sorry, and these are Holland, Belgium. That's right. The green. I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Anglo-Allied. Okay, right.
Anglo. Wow. So okay. So Jeff, I'll check for this. I'll say for Mr. William here.
Well, the first thing to do is to see you. I think you should have the Prince of Orange as a commander.
No, Prince William.
Yeah, Prince William. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. So because he's a commander, he can put any officers who are within 4 hexes of his spot in command.
All right. So Panche, sorry, sorry for the ear damage you're going to get listening to me pronounce these names. So he's in command. This guy here.
Right. So
he's good. Thus Van Opstal is in command, and his and I can't really see his. I'm not going to zoom in to see that. So they're all in command. So that's good.
All in command. Yep.
And he doesn't have anybody else to mess with. Now, Jeff, I'll let you take over. You've got Wellington.
Wellington is in command of all. He's got the Brunswickers too, right? He command everybody.
Right. Yep.
Right. So Wellington can reach Picton. So Picton's forces are in command, but he cannot reach the Brunswickers because his range is 4, and he cannot reach Best. Who's Best part of it? He's independent, isn't he?
Yeah, is Best independent here in this? Looks like it. Yeah, this guy back here.
Well, he's 6th Brigade Reserve. Yeah. So okay. So Picton is in command. I'm going to roll for the Duke of Brunswick.
Yep, and he's a 4.
He's a 4. So let me roll.
2.
He's in command.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to roll for Best. Best
1.
is oh God. Why is he so weak? I thought Best was a good. Oh well.
2.
All right, so Best is out of command.
So Chuck, is there any way of like Best? Can you put him under the command of somebody, or no?
Well, is Best within 4 hexes of Wellington?
No.
Okay. See, you'd have to look at the command structure because
okay.
If Best is part of the Prince of Orange's guys, the Prince of Orange can use a command point to put that many units in command.
Okay. Yeah,
nope,
he's not.
Okay, so
how did you mark him out of command, Todd?
Oh, well, you can. So I think you can.
What?
You can click increase. No, click decrease. Sorry. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Yeah. OC. I'm guessing that's out of command.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's command movement.
Yeah. Real quick before you do that, Jeff, I want to ask Chuck, where do you see? Is this going to be under the command status of like Best? Like I guess it's under the scenario, right?
Well, usually if you see that all the combat units have that colored bar at the top, which is the name of the unit.
Oh,
so
okay.
You'd have to look to see which officer has the same colored bar. Like if you look for the French, well, if you see the French, Ryle's 2nd Corps, they all have brown stripes.
Yeah,
that tells me at a glance, okay, that's all those guys. That's their officer.
Best is probably the lead element of the rest of the reserves coming on.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, Jeff, I guess. I got to be honest. So I'm looking at the green guys down here. Unless Chuck, there's something I should be doing differently. I mean, I feel like they're kind of roadblocking you, the French.
Oh no, indeed they are. And in taking a look, one of the nice thing about Woods, prevents you from woods. Don't affect infantry and their infantry combat strength, but they cavalry in woods are halved. Artillery is also halved, I believe, and artillery can't bombard into a wood. You also have that nice little stream, and that gives you some advantages in combat as well. Let's see. I'm looking at
what happens to a commander if he's alone in a hex? Does he have command?
There's a chance that he could be captured, so you don't want to do that.
So I need to move him.
Yeah.
Do I need to move him with the Velmar, whatever the heck how you pronounce that, or
Van Opstal or Weimar, Saxe Weimar?
Saxe Weimar.
He's my. I kind of hate to give up that flank there, but I also don't want to lose that town. So
well, you need to remember too that I'm coming right behind you with, and I can go into road march.
I can't trust you to do anything. I mean,
good point.
All right, so I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this guy.
Okay.
And then that's all I'm doing, Jeff. So you can start moving when I'm done here. So I think I'm going to move him 1 and then 2. Okay. And I'm not going to move unless it's better to move the artillery into that town as well. I hate to artillery.
Yeah, because he's sitting in woods, isn't he? What's he sitting?
No, he's just sitting in the open. I hate that.
No.
And Chuck, they can move in the woods, right?
They can move in the woods, but artillery combat is halved while they're in a woods hex, and they also can't bombard. They can't, even if they're in woods, they can't shoot out of the woods, and I cannot bombard into the woods.
So don't do that. Let me ask you what's going on with this. While I got the.
Sure.
Is that a chateau there? That does some stuff, right?
Well, they say, a chateau, that's a dandy little defensive position, because as I'm looking at the terrain and combat, let's see here, because there should be.
And can he?
Okay, with the chateau hex, chateaus only benefit infantry. And you can have up to 2 infantry units stacked in a chateau. When the defender in a chateau, his combat strength is doubled. And when you're in a chateau, there's no combined arms. There also is there's no bombardment. And on the combat result tables, any DR results are treated as shock. So chateaus can be a real thorn in an attacker's side.
Oh wow! And if I move that artillery in there, the infantry doesn't get that 2 times.
That's right, exactly.
Sheesh! What is this? What do I do with this artillery?
Okay. One thing you might consider if the other unit in the chateau were an infantry unit, you could move them out with the artillery.
Oh. And don't worry about that. Then move the leader, put the leader in with all those guys too, right? Because I don't want to lose him, or move him back, I guess.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, again, he's got a 3 hex radius. So.
Okay, so I guess those guys moved 1, 2 into that. Shouldn't have got rid of my movement lines. Boom, boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and then this guy. Commanders just move at any time they are in the movement phase.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh man, I'm going to give up that control. Oh, all right, come on, Jeff, get in there, buddy.
Is there a benefit to? Do they get increased movement points during road march?
Only time you get increased benefits is if you're in road march and you're on a major road, which is the thick brown line. Each hex is just a half a point of movement.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay. So that, and you're on that, Jeff. So.
Yep, I am. All right, well, I guess we need to come down and bail your happy ass out.
Please do.
What I'd probably do is, Todd, is I'd undo that move, because you're right. You really don't want to give up that chateau. I mean, that's the cork in the bottle.
So that infantry needs to stay there.
Yeah.
And commander, I guess it's probably better to have him back, right? Because
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
And I don't want to move the artillery in there. So I guess I'll just leave the artillery there. Maybe he can support them or something, I guess. So, well, I don't need to think about it too much. Well, let's just keep going. All right, Jeff, go ahead, buddy.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Well, I can't move into that hex with that guy since you moved over there. So,
Yeah, but you can protect my flanks, bro.
well, yeah, but you've got a hole right there next to that freaking lake and turn.
Hey, man, sorry.
Whereas if you had not moved the Saxe-Weimar over, I could have road marched right into that hex.
So see, it's hard to coordinate between commanders, huh?
Yeah, son of a big damn Dutch.
I think in the campaign game, you're only allowed to discuss plans with your fellow commander if you're in the same hex.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I saw that. That's pretty cool.
No.
So, Jeff, I don't know. I'm going to mute myself and go to the bathroom or something, so I don't have to hear you
All right.
complaining.
All right, you do that. All right. Well, thank God Wellington is a superpower. So let's go with.
Man, there's some things I want to say. Jeff, quit listening to me. Man, I just think, hey, listeners, I think Jeff needs to.
No, you've got one unit, so shut up. I'll deliberate here what's going to happen. All right. You guys are probably the Saxe-Weimar guys are looking around saying, shit, let's run to Brussels now.
All right. There we go. We're zoomed in so everyone can see.
1, 2, 2, 3. I've taken out of that before. 1, 2, 2.5.
What's up, Joy? Thanks for coming on.
3.5. God damn it.
A little Napoleonic gaming going on here.
All right. I'm going to put one of these guys in road march. Let's see, I have a couple here. All right. I'm going to move him out of there first. 1.
And just remember, units in road march cannot be adjacent to other units in road march.
Can't be adjacent to them. Okay.
Can they start if they're stacked, can they start in road march and be moved away?
Yeah. What you'd be doing is essentially, if there was a stack, the first guy would go in a road march, move away. Then the second guy goes in a road march, moves away, and the third guy does if you want to do that.
But if I stop him on a road and I road march the next guy up, he can't move up next adjacent to the road march.
Exactly.
So I got to make sure I take him out.
It's a long column, buddy. Yeah, and leaders don't count for that role.
All right, 2.5, and I'm going to take him out of road march.
So that's why I think in the board game itself, you'll often see the road march markers behind the
Right,
guys,
exactly.
right? To kind of help you remember that.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah, Joy, thanks for coming on. It's great to see you, man.
3,
It's been a while.
1.
Sorry, they're not
2,
miniatures.
3. 1, 2. God damn it. And what's it cost to move into woods?
Okay, with woods, looking at let's see here.
And if I'm in road march, is it any different?
Cavalry and horse are 4, infantry and artillery are 2.
Right.
And road march doesn't have any effect on that.
No.
All right, so 1, 2. Well, I don't need to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because he'd be going down a road. That wouldn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at hexes, Tom. Just trying to think of the best way to.
No, that's cool. No, you're good.
1, 2.
Yeah, boy.
2.5.
Oh man.
3, 4. All right, so okay, so I'm gonna put. Damn it, that's not the one I wanted. Get your ass back up there, bitch. All right,
This
so
is normal talking for Jeff and I while we play on Vassal.
2, 3. Now 2.5. We'll take him out of road march right there. 3.5.
Okay.
Now, where can I best deploy? Well, I tell you what.
Remember, it costs you a point to come out of road march,
Right.
and then it costs you an extra movement point to move into a hex with a friendly unit.
With the friendly, right?
Yep.
But road march can't be in a hex with a friendly.
Well, yeah, we'd have to come out of road march.
Oh yeah, to move into a hex with, but these are just 2 leaders. They don't.
Oh, don't tell me. That's okay.
Oh,
Leaders, it does. You're right. Leaders, it doesn't matter. They can road march. They can do whatever they like and still stack.
1, 2, come out 3.
Out 3.
1, 2, 3, 4. No,
4.
we're just going to drop him in there.
So you could move in with Kempt if you wanted.
Did it again.
Right, Jeff?
Should I?
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, if I had to, yeah, but I have to come out of road march first. So
Right.
Picton. 2. We're going to keep you with your boys, Picton.
Remember, you come out of road march, so now you can stack, and then if you move into a hex with a friendly unit, that's an additional movement point. So
right.
Yeah. That's
As long as it's not a leader, it's an actual combat unit.
Exactly.
Sitting in the chateau, making some stew, waiting for the Brits to come save my
Right.
butt.
Todd, the other guys are the Brunswickers.
Brunswickers and Best is just going to sit back there.
Yep, you get the Brunswickers because you're about to lose all your Dutch anyhow.
Oh, you want me to move them?
Yep, and they passed their command. They're in command, so that OC. That OC thing is nice and everything, but
You'd rather see the big one.
that's all right. Now go ahead. You got the Brunswickers. Do your thing. I don't think the supply train needs to move. And I put a couple extra road marchy things there for you.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. It looks like the round, Chuck. It looks like I got these guys sideways up here. I'm not sure why they're sideways, but is it because they're vedettes? Because the round cav markers are vedettes, right?
Right. Yeah, I'd probably take unless you really want to get heavily into hidden units for a learning game. We might not want to use that. So,
they're just zone of control blockers. They're just screen units, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you saying I shouldn't do they combine into the cram or are they just their own? I'm not really clear.
That's right. Well, it's light cavalry units. They're usually the units that have 7 movement points. You'll see they have a little up on the colored ID band. They have a yellow circle with a number in it that says that. Yeah, so that says you may break that light cavalry unit down into 2 vedettes, and if they're still well and healthy, they can recombine to constitute the unit.
Do they have to have the same? So if I broke cram into 2 vedettes, would they both say cram?
Well, no, they need to have the same color band. Let's see. I'm just looking. Yeah, if you look at your AOD display. Yeah, if you look at the AOD display, you'll see holding box, and it'll show you the vedettes per organization that you have.
Okay. Sounds like.
Do you see those?
I see the holding box coalition player, and it's got 12th Hussars, 8th Ulan, 7th Ulan under green.
Yeah. Those guys that are 07s and they have a little circle. Those are your vedettes. Okay.
You can't see my units, is that right?
No, I can't see your units.
So I'm just going to pull out. I want you to see what's in this stack. Oh, you're not going to be able to see them at all because you're not within my range. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I've got 2 vedettes sitting in this thing, and they're turned sideways. I'm not really sure, and they're black, and I got a black guy with 2. So I don't know if those came from him or. All right. So if he goes road march, he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, out for 5, 6, 7.
How the hell can I not see you moving?
I'm not moving, Jeff. I'm doing like you were doing, counting.
Oh, you're counting. We're doing maths.
Yep. And I'm putting him in road march. So 1, 2. Wait, do you have a unit in there?
Sleepy John.
Oh man, you have a unit. So if you have a unit in there, Jeff, I can't move through there in road march, right?
Right.
Thanks a lot, bro.
What are you talking about?
This guy in here. I can't move in there. I can't move in there in road march, right? Because you've got a unit in there.
Right. My bad.
2, 3.5 out of road march. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess I'll move these.
$29.99, Ray.
And he'll go in road march 2. Again, I don't know why he's sideways.
Yeah, I was going to ask him why is it sideways. There were 2 of them up there sideways.
Well, that's what I don't understand. If they were supposed to be like a part of him, I'm not really clear. But
well, they got a rotate button in there for some reason.
Yeah, they do. I want to look at the setup real quick for this scenario real quick. I'm kind of curious what's.
Well, let me say this. Since you've executed 1 move already, I'm very impressed with your choice of moves.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I guess I'll move my other guy that's up. He'll go road march, so he'll go.
Just remember command.
2. Out of command for 3, 4.
Soon, Chris. Soon.
Can commanders go into road march too?
Commanders move at a cavalry rate, so it really doesn't matter if they're on road march or not, since stacking doesn't apply to them. So if they're on a major road, they could move it at the road march rate. Let's see what the chapter.
Oh, so I didn't need to put that cavalry in road march then.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So cavalry, road hex, run half if road march, and enter through house.
Yeah, it says leaders pay cavalry costs for all terrain types because they're on horses.
And I do not see on the road hex that cavalry. Are they supposed to get half on road or cavalry?
Well, cavalry unit would only get half on road if they're in road march.
Oh, okay. And so I could put that general commander in road march so you can get that half. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's 1, 2.
Chris Long, Black Swan games. I heard they're banned in Thailand, so you should probably send those to me before you move.
Road march.
27 viewers out there. If you hadn't said hey yet, say hey so we know you're out there observing. That way when we see people talking how bad we're playing, we know who it was.
5, 6 out of the road march.
And Chuck, you've got some serious patience to deal with the 2 of us.
Well, hey, listen, I'm a pediatrician, so I'm used to it. But no, I also enjoy helping people discover a great game system.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at we've had probably at least 10 people that have come in here saying they want to learn along with us. So you're teaching probably 12, 15 people, whether you like it or not.
Cool.
This is a good system. And Todd and I have talked about this a lot of times. He's played a scenario. I've played like 2. It's just, I mean, between the 2, he's thinning out his games. Me, I still have over 500 of them. So it's confusing to me. But I would put this in the top 10 systems that I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I just not got around to
it. Okay, so I'm done moving my guys. Jeff, I'll let you move. Where do you want to move the supply? Just move it up the road a piece?
No, because he said it's a 14 hex range. I said we leave him right there. He's on a main road.
And they just have to, that 14 just has to follow roads, is that right? Or trails or whatever?
It's unlimited from the supply train along the road off to the supply source.
Yeah, I'm talking about
it's 14. It's 14 from units to the supply train or supply wagon. Is that right, Chuck?
Yeah. 14 from the baggage train.
Okay. All right, cool. And so I'm going to take the moves off. Now it's the combat phase, which we chickenly have not done that. So we're going to skip a step. And I think we're actually going to go to another turn. I think
so. See, even though there's an artillery unit right next to the chateau, the problem is that the French units to the south of him, they're now behind a crest hex. Okay, and actually that guy would be able to see. I don't know how you reveal him.
Which so the guy in the chateau or
no the artillery unit next to him, that guy, yeah.
He can see.
Yeah, Well, he can't see me, but I can see him because I
Oh yeah,
have
yeah, I
units.
got you. Oh,
Yeah.
so if okay, well let's
There is a reaction phase of artillery.
yeah. So how do I don't want to reverse, so I need to expose myself, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I
Invisible.
don't know. Don't know how that works. Oh,
Nah.
well, you disappeared. Now you disappeared. There you go.
Okay,
Come
let's
back.
see. Mass coalition.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Gotcha. All right.
Okay, I'm going to try something real quick. So mass coalition. So yellow means you can't see them. So that's what the yellow means, I think. So,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
but because I came in as solitaire, I guess
Mhm.
Jeff, you can tell me I can see everybody because I came in as
Mine are,
solitaire.
yeah, I can see all of our guys, but there's some French ones I can't identify.
So there's some French you can see, right?
Some I can, some I cannot. I can see Campy and I can see Huisson. And Deshay, I can see that artillery unit.
So let's ask that while we're kind of talking about this line of sight and I'm not sure why they're exposed and why you can see them, but should we be able to see these guys?
Yeah, those guys know. So I'm just looking at. Let's see here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we were playing this face to face with it, we would have those. Those two French infantry units you can't see for the purpose of bombardment. There's something there, but you can't shoot at them because of the crest line.
Todd, did you move both vedettes over there to the left?
I sure did. I wasn't paying attention, bro.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I see why you're asking that, but I mean, I can't talk to you because we're not in the same hex. So
yeah, and plus you speak German and I'm speaking British, so
yeah. Okay, so no combat, so we're gonna skip that step. So we're gonna put these. Everyone good to go another turn? Should go pretty fast. Jeff, you doing okay?
I'm good.
Okay, so let's where's the turn record chart? That's here. So I'm gonna slide this up here.
Did we miss any phases?
Nope.
Let's see. Is anybody asking a question if we have or not, or just asking Jeff? I didn't see. All right, so second player turn, we've done that. So now, the TRC is the turn record chart. You guys, if you want to pull it up on your screen so you can see it better, it looks like someone's already moving that. I see.
Yeah, that's me.
Well,
now 3 p.m.
Keep this in mind too. A unit that is in road march, he is considered to be in command if he's within 2 hexes of another unit in that formation that is in command.
Right.
Okay. All right. So it looks like I get some more guys.
Yep. But you have to endure the French turn here. So, and see already the French are on the horns of a dilemma because they'd love to keep driving north, but that's a pretty big guy in the chateau there, and they're hearing a lot of noise to the north. So I know that there are a lot of guys showing up here. But in any event, let's do the good old sequence, and we'll go for the command segment.
Okay.
So we have Ney here, who activates Ryle, and happily all of Ryle's units are within 3 hexes of him, so his corps is all in command. And then Ney gives Ney's 1 point he gives to the Guard Cavalry, which is in road march, so they're in command. So now for what we have to see is can Kellerman, can he make his initiative die roll? And let's see here. There we go. So Kellerman is in command, and the unit that was don't want to move that. There you go, move that. So that out of command marker can disappear.
Okay.
Yeah. See, he's now in command because he's got his officer in command within 3 hexes.
Okay. Okay.
Alrighty. So now let's see here, the old soup to nuts here. Well, let us first of all, we definitely have to do that. And so we'll go 1, 2,
oh boy,
3, 4, 5.
There's no cavalry over there screening, Jeff. What are you doing?
I know.
5, and then he will come out of road march. So we
Okay.
we can give. I think I can just delete that. Yep.
French cavalry is not weak.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's see here. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Well, I think since this is a learning thing, and hey, we definitely have to get some entertainment here. Let's just do the big slamma jamma.
All right. Slam.
And then here, here, just to show you, we have this unit here moves 1, and then he has to move 2, 3 to stack.
That is like.
And these guys will just slam in there.
Oh boy.
Well, don't forget, you're in a chateau. You're 12. Don't forget that.
Now those guys should be visible, right?
Yeah. Well, technically they become visible at the beginning of the combat phase.
Okay. That can be kind of cool in 2-player.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's fascinating because you could put a really weaky boy in that, that chateau, and he goes, I got to go around it, or something. I don't know. Yeah, you can see. I see Jeff in this. It's like GCCW in that there's a lot of little things to think about, and you can get a little paralysis of decision making. So, especially if it was
that unit in that chateau. Let's say he moved into that chateau. Or no, let's say at the end of this turn, your French guys are still stuck there.
Right.
The guy in the chateau, he doesn't necessarily have to attack out.
He does not have to attack. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But anybody who winds up next to the chateau will definitely have to attack him in their turn. So
right.
Okay, so we've moved that up. So Ryle's core is good. Then let's see here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Then we will go. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just have to get a road marker for him. Let's see. Markers.
There we go. On your Twitch channel, Todd.
Oh, goody.
1, 2, 3.
So I can get on there to get rid of it. I usually can't. So
6, and I'll just alley-oop. I'll put that on him. I'll get rid of that. Okay. Alrighty. And of course, as you see, these cavalry guys in Road March, they can be next to that division because the division is not in Road March. So, okay. And then I think we'll just whoop. No, I don't want to put you quite there. So I think name will just sit there. Alrighty.
Bravest of the brave.
Bravest of the brave. A little nutty from his experience in Russia, but that's another story. Alrighty, so here we have the combat phase. Ta-da!
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So starting off, so we have the lone artillery unit there, and he will be attacked by the infantry, which is attacking at 5, and the artillery, which adds a 1, so that's a 6 to 2, so that'd be a 3 to 1. Now that's a 3 to 1, but let's see here. We do have terrain. The terrain that will affect that.
All right. So real quick, Chuck, who are you attacking? Yeah. So Gauthier, Deschaux, they're all attacking the guys in the chateau.
That's right. Yeah, that whole division is going after the chateau. These two boys are attacking that. So.
And who's attacking the artillery?
Yeah, and looking at that, so it says defender is time 1.5 if attacked only through a stream. And in this case, that's it. So he's actually a 3. So it's 3 to 6. So he's just a 2 to 1. And actually, let's see here. Well, do I want to ripen? Well, I've already moved. Never mind. See, what I could have done is ripened it by moving Puree over, and then I would have had combined arms, but I didn't. So let's just see what happens when we're now not making ideal attacks. So here we go. So we go to the combat result table. Bingo. All right, so we're attacking on a 2 to 1. And so let's just roll that down. let's see what happens here. Boom. Okay, I roll a 3, which is a DR. So Van Optal has to move back 1.
Okay. And what's the order, or what's the retreat rules?
Retreat rules is you just have to move farther away from an enemy unit, and and if you enter a stack, if you enter a stack and you would overstack it, the units in the overstack are displaced. So in this case, he could go either north to the forest, or he could go behind the chateau.
And artillery in the forest is halved.
Right.
Are there any penalties for stacking with different nations?
No, not at all.
So he can move in with a British unit.
He most certainly can.
Now, is Von Afstel, is there anything? Is he disrupt? I don't. Is he demoralized or anything, or displaced?
Nope.
Or
no, he just retreats.
all right, boom, he's retreated.
Boom. Okay, he just retreats. All righty.
And you could advance the guy if you wanted to.
Now I could, but see, what happened is if I move into that hex, what I don't know is what's going on with this guy that's in the Bois de Boisseau, because, well, I'm trying to think, yeah, he really can't get behind me, can he?
Which guys are you worried? Are you worried about these guys?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about him.
Well, it's still, but well, actually, if I moved there and these guys moved into a hex, they could potentially cut me off. So that's one of those.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what type of unit that is.
Exactly. I don't know what's in there. So
it's probably a Tiger tank.
Well, the worst thing is if he's cavalry, you could potentially get a combined arms on me too. So I think we'll let discretion be the better part of valor. But
Wow.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay.
The big one.
Oh boy, here we go. All right.
Well, actually, what I have to do is I do have to take one guy out because what I did is I realized that I had the core artillery in addition to the divisional artillery, and that would be an overstack. So he would have had to. So I'm going to pop him out. But so we have here now. So we have got a 10 to 12. So that's a 1 to 1.5.
And so who's attacking? Is everyone just in that hex attacking him? Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
So that's 10 to 12.
Yeah, 10 to 12. So that's a 1 to 1.5. Stranger things have happened, as my regular friends usually say. Okay. So that is so I roll a 1. So that is a DR, but that becomes a shock. Okay. So what we look at, so this is where the initiative comes into play.
Okay.
So and it turns out we're even up because I have all of my units are 3s.
Yep.
And your guy in the chateau is a 3. So what we do now is we go to the shock table and
shock table. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Right.
Okay. I'm at the shock table.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
One more time. Run by the reason that it's a shock.
Okay. The reason that it's a shock is because if this were clear terrain, he'd be forced back, but he's in a chateau. And the special rules for chateaus is that all DRs become, let's see, just looking back on the terrain. Yeah. It says any DR results are treated as shock unless defender is demoralized, and you're not demoralized. Okay. So now what we do is we each make a die roll, and the way this works is if you roll a 1 or a 2, there's no change. If you roll a 3 or a 4, you get +1 to your initiative. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you get +2 to your initiative. And then we compare those final results on the combat result table.
Okay, so I'm going to roll a die.
You roll a die. All right.
I got a 1, baby.
You got a 1, so your initiative remains a 3. So I will roll a dice. Ooh, my initiative becomes a 5. So if we look at the combat results table, wherever I saw that.
The combat results table or the shock combat table?
Shock combat table. Let's see here.
So I was a 3, you were a 5, and that's now a DR.
That's right. Let's see here. Yeah, the defender is a 3. I was a 5, it's the DR. So Sax-Weimar has to retreat a hex.
Just a hex. Okay.
And
All right.
you can't go straight back, so you got to go out to the right.
And I can't go straight back because there's two combat units in there already.
Yep.
And is there any problem retreating over a little creek or whatever that is?
Nope, not at all. Yeah, but retreats are made in terms of hexes and they don't pay any movement costs.
Oh, even a major river would be fine.
Well, major river you'd be stuck. You can only retreat across a bridge.
That's victory points there too.
All righty. And let's see. And what I can decide to do is I will pull out. Let's see. Just want to make sure. There we go.
This isn't right. Something's not right about this. This isn't fair.
Well, I got lucky.
Well, we're going to end up having to attack him. So.
Yeah. And see that this is where it now gets interesting, because by me moving into the chateau, I've locked those two enemy hexes, and they can't move away, and they will now have to attack me in your combat turn.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you could force me out. I mean, and by and large, the combat results table, if you look at it, the only time it's bloody is if you can surround somebody with zones of control, or if you get an exchange. And most, if you look at if you look pretty much from 1 to 3 to 3 to 1. There aren't any elimination, except at a 1 to 3 you have a chance of attacker eliminated. But in that band, 1 to 2 to 3 to 1, the worst that happens is your attack may fail and you're pushed back, as long as you have a retreat line. So,
right. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that's all the combat.
That's all the combat.
So now it is command save, move, save, and line of sight, but we're not going to worry too much about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now command step for the allies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody down there is in command. My boo-boo was I should have moved Wellington back a couple hexes so he could have reached best. So the only one we got to roll for right now is any reinforcements and best.
Okay, so there are reinforcements.
You don't have to roll. You guys get a reinforcement. You do have a reinforcement coming in.
Yep. All right, so let me get that pulled up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and are they just placed on these hexes up here?
Yep, that's right. And they're considered in command on the turn they arrive, and they can come in road march if you like. And now, if there's more than one unit, you have to sort of imagine that the road extends beyond that and deduct the appropriate movement points for entering the map. Did you catch that?
Say it one more time.
Okay. Well, let's say if you're reinforcement and you're more than one unit, and you want to come in road march, you have to. The units are basically in a column, and then they're paying cost to move up to that entry hex.
Right. So it'd be like a formation in any other game. Moving in, the first guy costs 1, next guy costs
exactly
2.
Yes, exactly.
But those are how many of those are?
Well, I'm going to actually reveal these units here because I want you to see.
Oh, cavalry. You don't have to. No sense in road marching them.
Well, you can though, because they still get that half movement.
Yeah, exactly. They get there a little faster.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, but with 7 movement points.
Hey, so Chuck, I'm showing you these units here.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I've played this game. Okay. Well, now what you'd have to do is you see those. Now your choices, you can either bring von Merlin on as his formed unit, which is the 2/7, or you would put, if you decide to bring them in as vedettes, you'd bring in a stack of 2 vedettes, and you'd move von Merlin on the AOD chart. You'd move him to the holding box.
Oh, so we could have 4 vedettes there, in other words.
Well, in this case, Merlin he just has those two.
Oh, so those are his vedettes. So
Those
it's
are
either
the
two vedettes
Yeah,
or Merlin.
if you're not going to use them, then you would put those two vedettes into the holding box.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So we're
All right,
going to get
perfect.
Right.
So, so then that answers my question about the previous thing I was trying to communicate, but I was not clear. So these will move to the. Let me get that chart. So that's AOD, and so they're going to move to the holding box. You said.
Correct.
Okay. So
yeah, exactly.
all right. Sorry.
Just clear off the map and go to the holding box.
Oh my gosh. All right. So that's going to go down here, and that's going to go here. So
And
I guess
they're considered in command. They will move before the initiative, which means they got to go around best. Well, if they're in road march, they will.
Yeah, hold on, Jeff. You'll have to repeat that. I'm moving these guys over here. Okay, I want to hear what you said there about. So, all right. So then that means these guys are also going there. So they were probably turned sideways just to make your attention known that they you need to make that decision here.
Yeah.
All right. So Jeff,
So the first people that have to move are the ones that are in command.
Correct.
And since he's in command, he's going to have to move first.
Right.
And if he goes in a road march, he's not going to move through best. He's got to go around.
If Best is not in road march, he can move through him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put, but he still moves first. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Units have to move.
all the in command. It just means he would move before Best. If Best is not in command.
Jeff, did you roll for Best?
No, I do. I don't. So let me do it now.
Yeah. When would Jeff roll?
Well, you're in the command phase, so anybody who's out of command rolls their initiative.
He is in command.
No, you got it.
There you go. Look at that. Marked into the sound of the guns.
There we go. Okay.
We'll just take that. We'll use the counters. Okay. All right. So now we just decide who's moving and doing all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And the only caveat is that the guys that are adjacent to the Gemioncourt Chateau, they're locked. They can't move.
Okay,
now you can reinforce them. Other guys can move in as long as they obey stacking limits, but those guys are stuck where they are.
So, and I assume we should have done this after the combat, but would we have checked line of sight for these guys for you to see if you could see them or not? Now that
we could have, but I do have line of sight. My guy Huisson sees right through the clear hex into them. So yeah, so I would actually know what's there.
All right, so we can reveal them.
Yeah,
and we would be able to reveal that French unit too, right? Because I can't see him.
You're talking about the guy in the chateau, yeah. So how do I reveal?
So right click it and click mass coalition.
Okay. Oh, the mass. Okay, now you should be able to see him.
Yep, I see him.
There you go. Yep.
All right, cool. And how about and units block line of sight, right? So you can't see this guy.
No, I can't see him. But what'll happen is in the combat phase, because of my masked unit that's on the road there, he will see at the start of combat. Yeah, he'll be able to see whatever those units behind Picton.
Okay, I'm going to move the Brunswickers there, Jeff.
Do your thing.
Okay, I'm good. Anything you want to move out? I'll move Van Merlin when you're done moving stuff.
Yep. Well, I need to know what you're going to do with him before I make my move.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I would move all my guys first, and then though it doesn't make sense necessarily. Okay.
Well, because I need to, depending on what you do with him, is going to decide what I do.
Gotcha. Okay. Road march. Let me do some counting here. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3. And we determined he can move through there. 3, 4 out of 5, 6. Let's see here. Just need to look at some terrain here. Give me a second. Do zone of controls block command and all that?
I don't think so, but let me just look that up.
Okay. I'm going to go. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, out for 4, 5, 6. So, all right. I'm going to road march him, go 1 while you're looking that up.
Yep.
1, 2, out for 3, 4, 5. And what does that do?
No, it looks like zones of control don't affect the command.
Zones of control do not.
Yeah, they do not block.
Should be. So it looks like slope. Looks like crest sides have no effect on combat. So I want to move him here.
Yep.
Good boy.
And I guess technically he would be. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. He's not in road march. Okay, Jeff. I think I've done everything I can do because I'm not gonna move my commander.
You have.
And I can't move my other guys because they're locked. Because
So
someone took the
We're
chateau.
going to have to attack that chateau because we have a juice.
Correct.
So I'm gonna attack him
Yep.
there.
You have to.
That artillery, he's just sitting there doing nothing. He can't move into any of those other hexes because we got guns already in there. All right, let me go ahead and put best. Let's see, what do we want to do with you, Mr. Best? 1, 2, 3. Three, 4 to there. We got reinforcements the next turn.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're
they're-
essentially this whole day. Wellington's Brits are streaming down the road.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more troops to come in, Jeff.
Yeah, and Nay's looking and saying, where is Derlong? Where's First Corps?
Where are they?
They're betwixt and between.
Well, so
1,
far,
2.
I think it's been pretty simple, but I think I've been playing most things right. I think there's some little details I was getting a little wrong here, but not too bad.
I think I'm gonna let's take him. I'm gonna take him back there 3, and then we take him out. I always thought Best was a better unit than that. Okay.
All right. Combat, right?
Combat it is. Okay.
Now I have a question for you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an artillery unit sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn off the terrain for a second here. You probably can't see it. Now he's sitting up on a crest. Oh, never mind.
He's sitting behind a crest.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not elevated when you're behind a crest. The
right.
only thing that elevates you in this game system is if you're on a hilltop.
Right. Okay. All right. So he is okay. So that's all right. I was thinking about like bombardment and stuff. So no. Okay, we're good.
Wait,
combat.
Can he bombard or not?
No.
What
No, the problem is
Right.
even the French units that he could potentially see, he can only sight along that hex side, and he's got woods on the one side which is blocking and friendly units on the other. So no, he can't see anything.
Yeah, I was talking about the British guy in the back. So we got to attack, Todd. We got to attack with the guys underneath Picton, and Pack, and Saxe-Weimar. We got to attack that chateau.
Yeah. Well, but the good news is I'm just a 10 and you are an 11, if I am not mistaken.
Right.
So that'd be a 1-to-1.
We have to. We don't have any choice.
Yeah.
No, why are we 11?
Well, because Peck is a 5 and Sax Weimar is a 6. Last I looked.
Right, but we want to attack with this hex too.
Can we do
that? 18. Well, it's still going to be 1-to-1.
Oh! I'm sorry. If you have more, hey, add them all up, boys.
Yeah, it's still 1-to-1, Todd. If we did that.
Oh, is it really? So 11, 13.
So 11 to 10. Why change anything? Yeah, just do 1-to-1. That way we don't give up that road for some stupid error.
Okay, and so 18. Or let me pull up the combat chart here.
Not 18. We're only going to attack with the 2 infantry units.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm sorry, 11, and 10. So we're 1-to-1.
Yep.
We're not combined arms.
Nope. Well, there's no combined arms in a chateau anyway, and the wild card is that any DR results or shock.
Does the defender at 1.5, if attacked only through a stream, does that also impact that? So are you now 15?
Well, no. In this case, defensive benefits are not additive. The defender has a choice of taking the one that's most advantageous to him.
Gotcha. Okay. And all right. So then go ahead and roll it, Jeff. Roll well.
2.
That's a 2. That's a DR. So okay. So here we go again. We've got it's a shock combat, and
roll for
your advantage is you have a guy with an initiative of 4. And my guy's initiative 3. So
here's our initiative roll for us. 5 for us.
Did you? Oh, so your initiative is now a 6. What happens with me? Okay, and my initiative is a 5. So that's going to be defender's a 5. The defender is a 5. You're a 6. So that's DR. So see?
Yay!
Good job, Jeff.
Now take your Sax Weimer, move him back in there because he's the big one. Or can we move both of them in there? No, we don't want to do
that. Could they both move in there?
In this case, no, because the leader's not with them.
So you just choose one and go.
Yeah, we probably need to leave Pack out. Be something.
Okay, I think I misunderstood something at some point in an earlier battle. I thought that everyone touching a unit had to attack. So
right.
I thought
you did.
I'm just saying it wouldn't have mattered. It was 1-to-1.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Okay.
Well, so they would have had to been included so we could move.
Oh, what to point out, which I didn't see either, when let's say one option, you were attacking at a 12 to 10. Now, because of the setup, your artillery unit could have fired at, could have bombarded my one infantry unit. We saw. Let's see. Let's look and see where he is here. I don't think he's in the woods. Yeah. No, I thought the guy next to him is. I don't think is that a woods hex?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That guy you could have shot at because he would have had a clear line of sight.
To Yasmin?
Yeah. Well, I think to avoid confusion and redoing the combat, but I had the one artillery unit in there. He could have bombarded that. That's the rule that's a rule that your artillery unit can shoot at a different hex as long as someone is stacked with it that's attacking the enemy unit that it's adjacent to.
Oh, so Chuck, you could have shot against our artillery or our unit in that hex.
No, he's saying we could have bombarded with von Opstal.
Right.
We could have bombarded Gable.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but then, okay. All right.
He doesn't have any artillery in there. Oh, yeah, he does. He's got the shed.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So he could that artillery.
So when is that reaction artillery fire step?
Well, let's see. The reaction artillery. Let me just.
Yeah, let's look at the combat.
For all you people out there, you still have to keep the rule book handy because you get these And really, our Thursday night gamer group, we always have one guy who brings the rule book, because things come up like this. You say, well, what do we do here? Well, if we look at the good old, nothing beats looking at the sequence of play.
I know. Tell me about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that would have been that. Yeah, I would have been able to do it in the reaction fire step.
Okay, so, and it was only because they would have been our guys were participating in a combat.
Right.
Okay. Now, and so I'm sorry that I have to keep asking this, but this is how Todd's brain works.
That's how you learn.
Our guys, those guys in that hex would have been attacking them because they had to, because
Exactly.
they were
Exactly.
And so the reason it's important is if there was a bad result for us, like attack or retreat or something, they would have had to do that.
Right.
But I mean, the math didn't matter, and it was all that was the same. So okay, all right, cool. I got that.
And my question is since we had to use both of those stacks, and there is a leader picking, we could have moved 2 units into that chateau, right?
Well, no, because
They have to be in the same hex, Jeff.
yeah, they exactly have to be in the same hex. Let me just triple check that, because I was just looking at that. Let's see here.
At least that's what I remember Chuck saying earlier.
Yeah.
And so this is what's kind of cool about this game. There's just like little details like
this.
Yeah,
it says if a leader is in the and if a leader is in a stack and advances, all undemoralized infantry and cavalry may advance with him.
In the stack, if the leader's in the stack with the people you're advancing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's right to put Zach Weimar back in there because he's a 6. So I think that's the best move. Okay, cool. So and that was our only combat.
That's the only combat. All right.
Look, another turn done.
Sure. There you go.
Look at that.
All right, well, it's almost 11. So
you want to call it?
Yep, because I've been off for 3.5 days, and
yeah, you're gonna be tired. Okay. All right. Well, let me before we go, Jeff, just hang on. Hold on, just a minute. Jeff's a quick leaver. Like once he says goodbye, he's gone. So I got to catch him here.
Yeah.
So don't leave yet. So I'm gonna save the game. Did you save? Oh yeah. Okay. So bam, there's that. And then let's stop in the log file.
And okay. Here we go.
All right. So Chuck, thank you so much for that. Thanks for everybody. So what I want to do, Chuck, so don't hang up either. So after we end the stream here, let's find us another date. We can finish this. I think we'll be able to finish the scenario up because now we're kind of flowing and going here, if that's cool with everybody. But everybody, thank you so much for coming on. We had 27, I think, at the height, and that's cool. Spreading the word. I thought one reason I want to do this is just because it's a fun system and I don't think it's got enough videos on it. I mean, there's a lot, but I just want to always make sure there's more. And also, I thought a lot of the people from my viewing audience may not be as familiar with it because I'm not a Napoleonic gamer, and so I haven't done it. But yeah, definitely go check out Charles' videos, the Thursday Night Gamers, Jeza1, Jeeza, Dolgus, and someone else that I'm suddenly forgetting his name. That both in Northwest guys that play a lot. They've got some good videos on it, so go check it out. Chuck, thank you so much. Like I said, don't leave yet, though. I'm going to end the stream.
My pleasure.
And thanks all. And you guys we'll probably going to be May before we get this, knowing how things are going and seeing the schedule. But and we got a big trip ahead of us. So thanks all, and we'll see you the next time. Watch all the feeds and all that for the next live stream of this as Jeff and I are masterly going to defeat the French and Chuck and show them how to play this game correctly. So tune in for that. All right, we'll see y'all. Okay.